Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Wow, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. Hey, it is a post-Monday celebration. We are moving through the week at a swift rate. Halloween right around the corner at the end of the week, so get ready for the trifecta of holiday season coming up before you know it. We are in day number, fill in the blank, for government shutdown 2025. Democrats getting a little antsy. They've never had Republicans actually stand up to them quite like they have today, and it's fun to watch.
We're all gonna die because of you!
I know. Well, I mean, at least for the last month. So right now we are in the second longest government shutdown. The first one happening under Trump administration, number one. But this one, I mean, hey, if Democrats don't vote to, do something normal and commonsensical, there's not a whole lot that we can do about that. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. I know we've talked a lot about government shutdown, but it's important. And there are deeper reasons, I think, why we're seeing a government shutdown. So we will speculate on that in just a moment. First and foremost, welcome into the show. Doing our thing.
Do it live.
Like we do every single day here on the show. Michael Finch will be on the program at the bottom of the hour. He is author of the book, A Time to Stand, as we talk about our American values and how to bring them back, how to preserve our American values, and is culture changing in society. We'll do that. He's also with the David Horowitz Freedom Center. So we'll look forward to chatting with him at the bottom of the hour. But we have a great guest right out of the gate today as we talk about this government shutdown.
What's trending today?
And for the first time in a while, Chuck Schumer of the Democrats on the minority side in the Senate actually spoke. I know, it's kind of wild. The Senate actually talking about the government shutdown and the Democrat leader of the Senate talking with the government. We have not seen him in a while. Hakeem Jeffries has been the spokesperson for the Democrats for a while. So Chuck Schumer actually making a statement today. Welcome back. It's great to see you again, right?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah. Chuck Schumer making a statement today saying this.
We're on the precipice of a historic crisis, and Republicans don't even want to talk to us about fixing it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Trump, where's he? Not even in the U.S. What's he focused on? Trump's focused on $40 billion for Argentina, $170 million in luxury jets for Kristi Noem, $300 million for his ballroom. In fact, his ballroom says that that is his main priority. Can you believe that? You can't make this stuff up.
The big board behind him, yeah.
His number one priority is his ballroom? When people are suffering? What kind of president is this?
What kind of president is this, that we won't open up the government? What's wrong with you?
For his ballroom and not a dime to stop the healthcare crisis.
All right, so the healthcare crisis is their number one. Apparently they want to die on this hill. I don't quite understand why. We're dealing with a policy issue during the vote for a CR that reopens up the government to allow us to do policy discussions, but now it's apparently for Democrats the now or never. Is there something deeper going on? We'll break that down here in just a moment. But had to get on to get our thoughts on where we're at with this government shutdown and why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. My great friend, he's my representative here for the 4th Congressional District for the great state of Kansas. Happy to have on here Congressman Ron Estes. Congressman, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Andy.
Yes, it's great to have you, and it is such a wild time. I did not realize, Congressman, that we have policy discussions during a CR and say, no, we're not going to extend the government CR just to keep the government open. We're going to die on this hill for Congress and Republicans to cave, re-implement all the policies that we got rid of back in July for the One Big Beautiful Bill, or else we're just going to shut things down. This is the weirdest shutdown I've ever seen, Congressman.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just another Schumer shutdown that basically they don't want to talk about funding the government. And the bad part about it is that this particular funding bill was something that they've already voted on basically 13 times when we were with under President Biden when he was in office. And, as recently as this last spring, they voted for the basic same funding level. So the whole purpose there is that they're focusing on talking about trying to make it a story about health care and a distraction from really what their responsibility is to fund the government. And all of these Democrats that are voting to not fund the government it's causing real pain for real people. And that now at least the Democrats are saying that they recognize it's causing pain for people, but they're using it as a political leverage point. And that's a sad way for people being in a leadership role, American leadership role, to treat American citizens.
Yeah, it's very strange, Congressman. They've given us two inklings of what they're doing here. Number one, they've said that as long as the polling numbers are in their favor, they're going to keep this up because obviously they're winning the argument, which they're not. CNN just ran a story today showing that Trump's poll numbers and Republican approval ratings overall have gone up over 5 points right now during the shutdown because of this issue. So they're not winning the narrative on that front. And then, like you said, they've openly said that this is putting pressure and harming American citizens, which is collateral damage for their political agenda. We don't care if it's going to harm people. We have SNAP benefits that are coming up to expire at the end of this week if we don't open up the government, and they want that to happen to try and force people to pay attention to them going into elections next week. Congressman, that is not the way to lead in any fashion as a party when you're saying we don't care if you hurt until you pay attention to what we want.
Yeah, it really is. And it is just a political game that they're playing, and instead of trying to focus on doing their job, doing the responsibility, which is funding the government. And yeah, so there's going to be differences in debate about how much our total appropriations should be for 2026 going forward. But let's keep the government open while we're having that discussion and finalizing that. That's why we created this CR, this continuing resolution, and until November 21st, when we voted on it back in September, was to actually be able to have some time for the appropriations committees to sit through and come up with, okay, how much we're going to spend on health and human services, how much we're going to spend on defense, how much we're going to spend for agriculture department. And with the shutdown, those discussions aren't happening.
Yeah. So, Congressman, you being on Ways and Means, you being in budget conversations a bit, in this CR that was supposed to go for 7 weeks, now we're about a month past that. If we end up passing some type and Democrats get on board, we ended up passing a CR to extend, is it still 7 weeks from when it's actually voted on? Does it still go till December? What's the future look like as this government shutdown continues to linger on right now?
So the bill that the Republicans passed out of the House of Representatives sets November 21st as the deadline for the continuing resolution to move forward. Okay. The Democrats in the Senate are filibustering it and have voted it down, voted to keep the government closed. So obviously, if it was going to take 6 or 7 weeks for the appropriations folks to work through the process, then that date would have to be changed to some degree. But the Democrats going to have to come to the table and stop the filibuster and vote to open the government, whether it's on November 21st or whether it moves it to a date, even the date in January or something that actually provides enough time for these discussions to be happening.
Yeah, and I got to give a shout out to the appropriations team. I know you're not on that one, but I mean, even the fact that we were trying to do a continuing resolution for a 7-week period is kind of a record compared to what we've seen for the past almost decade now, where we go up until the end of the year around Christmas time, then we do another one until like middle of March, and then we do another one just to get through the rest of the fiscal year. So the fact that we were so close to getting an appropriations process done, I give them props. But you being focused on the budget side of things, is this starting to harm the economy, do you think? President Trump continues to work on trade deals. He's working on bringing in tax revenue. He's working on bringing in tariff revenue right now. And we've seen that side begin to turn around from the deficits that we've had. Is the shutdown and the slowing down of government services slowing down the economic growth that you guys have been working on?
Well, if you look at the number of workers that are operating under the federal government, there's a little over 2 million civilian workers and roughly the same number if you add up the military and the postal service. And the reason I break those out is just because of the way they're funded. So, if we're talking about the salaries for those 4 million people, now there's 100 million other people that are working in the economy and actually going about their daily business, doing their jobs. And so it has a little bit of an impact. It has had up to now, but the bigger issue is going to be this starting last week. There's no paycheck at all for any of those workers, and so that's going to come into particularly burdensome and pain points for those individuals. whether they're trying to pay their mortgage or pay the car payment or go to the grocery store or the drugstore to get medicine for their kids. And that's a piece that's going to be very painful for these individuals that are involved in this. And I just, it's really sad that the Democrats are continuing to filibuster and use this as a political leverage point.
Yeah, truly unfortunate. We're talking with Congressman Ron Estes from the 4th District of Kansas. As beyond the government shutdown, as you work on the budget, we work on trying to streamline the process of government. We work on trying to downsize the size of government. I know for the past couple of months, or at least the past month as well, alone during the shutdown, we've heard the Trump administration's cut near 3,000, 4,000 different federal employees, laying them off, which is good. We're starting to downsize that. Are we slowly, Congressman, and this has been something that you've focused on a lot since you've been up there, trying to get a little bit more of a balanced budget, trying to at least consolidate certain programs, trying to get things under control to start steering that ship in the right direction? Are we slowly getting there?
Well, we've slowly made some progress. We've got so much more to do. I mean, the problem is one out of $5 that the federal government spends is being borrowed, which means we've got a big problem we've got to work and address and sort through. And a lot of that, you start to get complaints from the government workers who actually run a program. You get complaints from the advocates who cheer on a typical program, and then you get complaints from the people that get paid through a particular program. So you have a lot of folks that are complaining that they want to keep their program, and so it's a delicate balance as we go through this. A lot of things, some things you can stop right away, but a lot of things you kind of need to phase down through that process. And unfortunately, as Ronald Reagan said, a federal government program is the closest thing to eternal life. Because it just wants to keep going.
Yeah, no, that's very true. For example, I mean, we talk about the ending of the SNAP benefits at the end of this week. Congressman, 40 million Americans on SNAP benefits, and I get it. There are some people that truly, honestly need it. There are some people that I don't feel actually need as much as what they actually get. But 40 million people, that is absolutely insane. It seems like right now this is an opportunity where we could start reforming some of these programs, offshooting some of this down to statewide levels, and getting people off of government programs, making them realize that they're not as reliable as what we've been told.
Yeah, and it's one of the things we highlighted in the big beautiful bill that we worked for the Working Families Tax Cuts Act this summer was we were actually looking at American people are generous people, and we're going to continue to be generous to help folks that need a hand up. But there's also some expectations that if you're an able-bodied adult and you're receiving, say, Medicaid, which is what we talked about with the one big beautiful bill, was that you're able-bodied, you don't have children, you ought to be working, even if it's 20 hours a week, or if not working, then go working on education or doing volunteer work in order to get this free health care that the American taxpayers are paying for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, that would be common sense. Why not? I mean, you have to volunteer. You have to do something. 20 hours a week is a half a work week for most people, and it's a little silly when they threw a fit about that. Congressman, hang on the line. We got to take a hard break here. It's Congressman Ron Estes from the 4th District of Kansas. The reforms happening right before our eyes. The government shutdown giving us opportunity and creating a deeper conversation on some of these that we should have had a long time ago. Back after this here for The Voice of Reason on a post-Monday celebration. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. When reason meets radio. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Democrats, we believe in a strong floor and no ceiling. That in America, when you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to achieve any level of success. There should be no ceiling to what you can achieve. Work hard, play by the rules. At the same period of time, there's got to always be a strong floor. That's anchored in things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, veterans benefits and nutritional assistance, and unfortunately the Republicans are trying to destroy that floor. and hurt everyday Americans.
Wow, there it is, Hakeem Jeffries. So he was walking very importantly down the hallway as the trove of mediaites were following him and answering that question. And we have a strong floor. That's the new talking point from the left side of the aisle. The strong floor, the Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the strong floor with the endless, bountiful, no end in sight, except for, of course, if you're Zohran Mamdani, then we need to ban billionaires, of course. But we need the strong floor, and that's where we're at. Congressman Ron Estes from the 4th District of the state of Kansas. Congressman, did you know that? We have a strong floor that Republicans are trying to dismantle and take away from people. I didn't realize that.
Well, they're just making up different stories as trying to find something to justify what they're doing. And it's just the political games that they want to play, which is kind of sad because as even now they're starting to admit it's hurting everyday people. And, when we talk about the folks in the district that are, whether they're, needing support from a food stamp program or whether they're trying to get, trying to buy a house. And if it's in a flood zone, they can't get flood insurance because that was part of the CR that was going to be extended, the flood insurance program. And it's a sad way to treat your fellow American citizens is what they're doing.
Well, it's crazy. Right now, they're asking for more subsidies into Obamacare. They're asking to get rid of the work requirements that, like you said, that you guys put in place during the One Big Beautiful Bill conversation back in July. They want public broadcasting refunded again, which is absolutely insane. But to me, you mentioned it in the last segment, that we still have those opportunities. You can still qualify for these things. You just have to, contribute just a little bit with 20 hours a week. And they threw an absolute fit about that option. At the same time, even Barack Obama, when he passed Obamacare back in the day, had said that the federal government will be unsustainable in reimbursing states for their Medicaid programs at a 90% level for the long term. It's not going to last forever. You cannot rely on that. We're starting to back off. You see the budget. You see how far in debt we're going as a federal government. We can't sustain that, and things got to start changing.
Yeah, it really is. And, as you said, the demands they're making are that they take $50 billion away from rural hospitals and that they go out and make sure that illegal aliens keep their free Medicaid and health care. And, I think a lot of this is built around the whole concept that Obamacare is failing. And they're seeing it. They covered it up with the COVID bailout. And now the COVID bailout's ending the way they structured it. I mean, it was the Democrats that chose to end this on December of 2025 because they thought that was enough for them to cover it. And it's getting worse and worse. Premiums are going up. Taxpayers are paying more. And this goes back to the basic Obamacare that's going to be struggling without the bailout.
It's unfortunate. Congressman, we got about 20 seconds left, but any speculation on when we could see this insanity end and when we could see the government open back up for you guys to actually start getting back on track and do your job again?
Yeah, I don't have a good solid crystal ball. I think they're going to play around with this until after the elections next week because they don't want to disrupt the particular Virginia and New Jersey governor elections. I just don't think it's going to work out well for them, and it's the American people are suffering because of what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah, I don't know why that's going to be the big campaign talking point. We're going to keep people from receiving, the Democrats especially, we're going to keep people receiving your social benefits that we want to give you because we want you to vote for us in the election next week. That's weird to me. Congressman Ron Estes, 4th District of Kansas. Congressman, keep up the fight, my friend. We appreciate it. We love you. Keep up that fight. Let's get you back on again real soon, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Always a pleasure. Congressman Ron Estes right there. Back after this here for The Voice of Reason on your Post Monday. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. Truth, reason, and common sense. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
And now, as we stand on the precipice of taking this city back from corrupt politicians and the billionaires that fund them, let our words ring out so loud tonight that Andrew Cuomo can hear them in his $8,000 a month apartment.
Wow. So that was, we didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, but Zohran Mamdani doing his rally over the weekend in New York. He's got right now, at least, although I will say Cuomo's starting to gain on him a little bit in the polls with the 1 week left before election time. But as of the end of last week, had like a 95% chance of actually winning that mayorship in New York. That's kind of crazy. Holy cow, what is he going to do to that city in New York? We'll get to some of that here in just a minute. I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. As you know, 250 years of America is coming up in just a couple of months, and that's what we have to worry about with becoming future leaders with Zohran Mamdani. But we need to celebrate the greatness of this nation, and not just the nation as a whole, but the great Americans that rose up to the challenges of their time to actually make America great all throughout history. And that's what Americans for Prosperity is doing. They're sinking in so much money and time and effort with this massive nationwide campaign to educate you, for us to learn about the history of this nation through the lens of the average American that made America great throughout the ages. I want you to go to a website, takeonesmallstep.com, takeonesmallstep.com, and you can see. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a campaign all year long next year, and we can learn about the average American that rose to the challenges of their times to fight back what needed to be fought back, like, I don't know, someone like Zohran Mamdani. I'm just throwing it out there, and then finding out how we can make America great again moving forward by learning from history and learning from what's been done in the past with takeonesmallstep.com and our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. All right, speaking of, by the way, real quick, and then this is going to lead right into our guest perfectly, but that rally at in New York with Zohran Mamdani, did you hear the speakers, not just with Zohran, but also with our favorite person here on this program, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
She spoke there, too. And you know when crazy people say things that they're not crazy, kind of proves the point that they're crazy? Yeah, we had one of those moments over the weekend.
We must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City.
Yeah.
We are not the outlandish ones, New York City.
Keep saying it, AOC. Come on.
They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Yeah, you know, I can't. Let's just go to our guest here. I can't.
What's trending today?
Like the crazy person you see in the street, like, hey, man, I'm not crazy. I swear I solved the problems of physics in the universe, man. All right, buddy. You just keep at it. On the line with us, really happy to have on the program. He is with the David Horowitz Freedom Center, and he's author of the latest book, A Time to Stand, The Dire Hour to Defend American Beauty. Really happy to have on here Mr. Michael Finch. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Andy. Thank you. Hope you're doing well, and I got very grateful for you to have me on today, and I feel for New York. I really do.
Yeah, it is insane. As you talk about American beauty, we fight for American values, we fight for American traditionalism. This is a spit in the face of all of that with what we could potentially see in New York City next week, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got, Andrew Cuomo. I mean, if he's the option, I know there's a Republican running as well, but it's probably going to be Mamdani. Cuomo's a criminal. I mean, he should probably be in jail. If this is what New York has to choose between a kind of Islamo-communist versus Cuomo, horrible choice. And, the rest of us from the outside of New York can kind of snicker at it, but New York is a really important city. It's the financial capital, really, of the world, certainly of the United States. America needs New York. And we went through this with Dinkins and then de Blasio, and I don't know what's in the water in New York that makes them want to vote for these this kind of crazy choice. But I do feel for New York. Maybe it needs to fall a little bit further into the gutter, and then it can rise from the ashes again.
I guess, but every time that happens,
huge risk.
Oh, absolutely. Every time that happens, though, because I thought about the same way. You know what? It's the social experiment. We need to remind them how bad socialism is. We always have to do this every couple of decades. But the problem is they always come up with an excuse on why, and it's just we didn't go far enough. We didn't go pure enough with our socialism. We didn't take it to the next step. And if we just take it to the next step, then this time it'll work. I promise you. And it's so weird how they can always justify it, play the victim in their own failures, and then try it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, Marx, the philosophy of Marx just kind of goes through, talk about 9 lives or 999 lives. People always say the same thing, right? Well, it was just done. The Soviets did it the wrong way. The Cubans did it the wrong way. Everyone's doing it the wrong way. We can make it right. And the only thing that results from that, Andy, is complete misery. Yeah. And then not to mention the death of millions in the last century. So To think that it can't happen here, I'm shocked that, I believe in the common sense of the American people. We elected Donald Trump twice, arguably 3 times, but
Sure.
That's another discussion. But the idea that they're going to vote for this guy but then look, I mean, California, Illinois, they're states that are really a complete mess politically. So America's fractured. I think the majority is with us, but there are parts of this country that have just gone off the deep end.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with this. I know that we have these pockets of crazy across the country. We have Gavin Newsom in L.A. and San Francisco and some of the crazy policies there. We have New York with Mamdani. We have Chicago with Brandon Johnson out there, and even the Governor Pritzker in Illinois. But overall, in general, as a nation, you're right, we did elect President Donald Trump. We have a majority of Republicans in Congress right now. We have a mostly conservative U.S. Supreme Court. We have the majority of state legislatures that are right-leaning and majoritively Republican. Are we getting back on track? And maybe did we start to, at least the spark of, realizing the error of the ways, realizing that we made a mistake, and slowly getting the nation back on track, do you think?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. I mean, outside of these pockets, you're absolutely right. And even in a state of like California, I mean, you have the Democrats, and the Democrats taken over by the radical left. They dominate California politics. But there's huge parts of California that you might as well be in Kansas. I mean, it feels like Middle America. It votes like Middle America. So, it's not all despair. The one thing you said that really resonates is we don't learn our lesson. I mean, maybe you and I do, and some of the Americans do, but too many Americans don't learn the lesson of history. I mean, this guy is a disaster, and he is going to be a complete disaster for New York. What the hell are they thinking? I don't know. And the problem is they'll be, if he drags New York back into the gutter, then it'll be resurrected. It'll rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. And then after 8 years, they'll go back to this. I mean, it just seems like Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again, even though, and we don't learn our lesson. I don't get it.
Yeah.
World history would, it's just mind-boggling.
It is very mind-boggling. Why is it, do you think, Michael, that we have so many people like Mamdani, like AOC, like Bernie Sanders, the socialist movement, that reference all these other nations and how great they are? The healthcare system of Cuba or of Canada or of the UK or of Scandinavia, the retirement plans of Scandinavia and the socialist policies over there. Why is it that they don't recognize that we're not like any of these nations, that we're so unique in the way that we're crafted, that we don't want to mimic them? I understand the whole concept of the grass is always greener on the other side mentality, but why don't they recognize how great of a system we have here that we need to work and make better, instead of disrupt it and mess up our system for them to give it an opportunity to try and mimic what someone else is trying to do right now?
It's and I've been working with the Freedom Center for over 23 years. David Horowitz, of course, passed away earlier this year, but I learned a lot from David, who had been raised by card-carrying communists. He was a Marxist revolutionary in the 60s, and then he made the change, and he tried to educate us to what the left is all about. It is a very seductive ideology. We can get rid of all want, all misery, all despair. Everything will be equal. There won't be, we'll all be secure and safe. And it'll eliminate income inequality, it'll eliminate racism, it'll eliminate all these horrible things that plague our society, supposedly. Yeah. So you buy into that, this idea that, if you're a Christian or if you're religious, you believe that heaven's going to come later. It's not going to happen on this earth. Well, the left believes that they can create heaven on earth. So that's why they'll eliminate millions in pursuit of that. If you're going to create this perfect society, it is so seductive, and it doesn't matter what's happened in the past. They don't learn the lessons. Like you just said, they'll say, well, it wasn't implemented properly. We are going to have to fight this kind of leftist utopian ideology 24/7 for the rest of eternity, because they keep thinking that they will do it right. They will create this perfect utopia, heaven on earth. And Mamdani and all the rest of them, AOC, Bernie Sanders, they all buy into this philosophy. It is a utopian philosophy. It's so dangerous. But there's no way we're going to be able to eradicate. Andy, we're never going to be able to say we won. The left is forever defeated, because the left is, the idea that we're going to become God has been in existence since the garden, since Adam and Eve. We're never going to eradicate it. We just have to keep fighting, as crazy as it seems. America does not want this. Look, we've got the majority, the common sense and good faith of the American people will push this back. But that doesn't mean that it's not a danger, and it's not going to plague certain parts of the country. And, you just never know. I mean, we can't relent. We have to fight every day, this philosophy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be an ongoing battle. It never ends. And even when we do make victories, we can win battles, but we never really win the war. But they don't either. And they're losing ground right now, which is kind of fun to watch, except for, of course, the crazies in New York right now. We're talking with Michael Finch. He's the author of the latest book, A Time to Stand at the Dire Hour to Defend American Beauty, also with the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Got to take a break here, Michael. Hang on the line. When we come back, I want to talk about what we can do to continue to promote this. And now we're seeing the Trump administration making the global tour. He's created, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 different peace agreements around the world and ceasefires. We're bringing peace to the world through strength as opposed to just ongoing conflicts, the military-industrial complex and all the crazy that we've seen from decades past with different administrations from both sides of the aisle, mind you, that Donald Trump has really made a focus on that. Trade deals, partnerships, and relationships. We're seeing that now more than anywhere else. Is that going to help us bring back American culture and American strength? I want to pick your brain on some of that when we come back around the corner as we continue on here. How to make America great, restore our culture, and bring us back to our golden age, which Donald Trump promised, and we're starting to see again. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier. America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
I have always had a great love of Japan and a great respect of Japan. And I will say that this will be a relationship that will be stronger than ever before. And I look forward to working with you. And on behalf of our country, I want to just let you know, anytime you have any question, any doubt, anything you want, any favors you need, anything I can do to help Japan, we will be there. We are an ally at the strongest level, and it's a great honor to be with you, especially so early in what will be, I think, one of the greatest prime ministers. I think you will be one of the great, everything I know, from Shinzo and others, you will be one of the great prime ministers. I'd also like to congratulate you on being the first woman prime minister. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, and I want to congratulate you on that. I think that has to be called out. And you're going to do a fantastic job, and we're going to have a fantastic relationship. Thank you very much.
All right, so President Donald Trump, his big announcement, his partnership with Japan, which we've already had a great relationship with Japan, but a deepened relationship with Japan with the new prime minister. I am not going to even try to attempt her name, although I will say I am so excited that she is now the prime minister of Japan, because not only is she the first woman and conservative prime minister of Japan, she's also the drummer in a metal band.
That is the most metal thing I ever heard my whole life.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I think that's pretty awesome. So no wonder why Donald Trump gets along with her. She's a rebel, she's a conservative, and she's going to rock and help support the nation of Japan in that great partnership with us here in the United States. So well done. Well done. I like that. That's awesome. What does that mean moving forward? We're hanging out with Michael Finch. He is with the David Horowitz Freedom Center, also author of the new book, A Time to Stand, The Dire Hour to Defend American Beauty. You can find it on Amazon, other places as well. Michael, this world tour that Donald Trump's doing, these peace agreements and ceasefires that we're seeing now, these new partnerships, the revised trade deals and tariff negotiations that we're doing, the deepened relationships that we have, now we're hearing that he's also throwing out a big deal potentially to try and bring North Korea back to the table and actually have a better relationship with them. Is this showing the strength that America's back at worldwide, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, Andy. I love it. And the relationship with the Japanese Margaret Thatcher, I mean, you've got to love it. They're a great ally. And he will come up there. There will be a trade deal with China. It may not be perfect, but he will. And it's driving the left and the Democrats crazy, because look at the peace deals, and he will. I mean, the big, of course, puzzle will be figuring out Ukraine and Russia. I think there will be some kind of peace agreement coming in the near future. Putin and Xi are tremendous adversaries, but only Trump could pull this off. I mean, and again, he could create peace for all of mankind for the rest of eternity, and the Democrats would still hate him. I can't wait. If he gets the Nobel Peace Prize, which he certainly deserves, the Democrats are going to be jumping off bridges. But I mean, he is remarkable, and he's using the strengths of, look, America. We've been weakened. I mean, other countries are rising, but we are still the most powerful country in the world. But you have to have that confidence and faith in the American system, which Donald Trump has. And he's got the world listening. That the whole world may not, I think a lot of the world does like him. But even if they don't like him, they do respect him. And he's got America's being respected again, particularly after the 4 disastrous years of Biden. But even Obama had a real hard time getting the world's respect. Donald Trump has that. The world definitely respects America again.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question for you, Michael. We got just about a minute left here. But what's the next step for us? How do we continue to fight for this? We're getting our values back. We're getting our American beauty back, essentially, for who we are as a nation. Donald Trump's fighting it left and right. It's difficult because the other side's kind of the wounded dog backed into a corner and they're lashing out. What can we do to keep this momentum going?
Well, I mean, obviously electing the right people. Donald Trump's his legacy is pretty secure, but we need the America First policy must be carried forward after Donald Trump, whether it's President Rubio or Vance or whoever. The America First policies that Trump, he has transformed the Republican Party, and frankly, he's transformed the nation in a way that hasn't been. I think FDR transformed it, I think, in a lot of negative ways. Donald Trump has transformed it in very positive ways, but that has to stick. Look, we've got the common sense, the faith of the American people. We believe in America First policies, and I think that will sustain us. The legacy will preserved, and America will be. I think we're already great. We're going to be even greater. We have an incredibly history and a culture that we need to cherish and restore. We've got the right people in office, so I'm very confident. We just have to keep pushing and fighting back against the crazy left.
Bringing back that truth, reason, and common sense and that rationale in D.C., which is what we have to do. Dismantling the deep state one step at a time. I love it. A Time to Stand. Go and check it out on Amazon, other places as well. Michael, appreciate the time very much, my friend. Keep up this fight. We love what you're doing. Let's get you back on and do it again soon.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Appreciate it very much. Michael Finch, again, A Time to Stand, The Dire Hour to Defend American Beauty. You can go check out his book, and we appreciate his time. Back at it again tomorrow for your Wednesday. Until then, be your own voice of reason. It's the voice of reason. I'm Andy Hoosier. We'll see you on the radio. Bye.